The Smash alarm. That means a new Smash was announced. Yup. What do you want me to talk about? It was a teaser and it didn't even show us anything. Like, what do you want me to talk about from a teaser that showed us shadows and a logo?
Come on, bitch! It's Sonic Speed!
It's got fire and shadows, so this means it is Melee 2. I hate the internet. There's a black and white logo, meaning it's like Undertale. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about this. All this proves is that Inklings, Breath of the Wild, Link, and Mario are back in. Ugh, so scared they're gonna come Mario. So for all of you that don't know, I actually used to do speculation on Smash for Wii U and 3DS before it was announced. I mean, look at this, it's trash.
Did you see Mario do a little dash dance over here? Or what about Bowser? Yup, it looks like this kind of movement is gonna be in this game as well.
But despite that, I actually had a pretty good track record predicting the roster.
Nice try.
Despite what you may think, I actually miss Smash speculation, and especially this time around where we have no idea what to expect from characters in the game as a whole, because think about it like this, the last two characters we got in Wii U were like Cloud and Bayonetta, two of the most outlandish character ideas we could have ever thought of 4 years ago, but they're actually in the game, and they probably will return into this next game, so what we can expect from this next game is gonna be crazy, so that's what's really fun about this. We don't know what Sakurai is gonna do, and I think that's why I like making these predictions. So, without further ado, let's talk about what I think the form of this game is going to take. It's a new game, alright? They could take 50% from Wii U and 3DS and it would still be presented like a new title. It would be a mistake to not take from this game because it's just unnecessary dev time. Why would you do that? And to those saying that 2 years doesn't seem like enough, I just want to remind you that Smash Bros. Is like any other game Nintendo or any company makes. I don't want to undercut Sakurai's work, but Smash is a fighting game, and though it is expansive, it's not to the level of some AAA titles we've seen from other companies. That said, I think you can get your hopes up that this is going to be a very full Smash game. If a lot of the skeleton is based off the last two titles, then there's a lot of room for them to grow and expand. Each Super Smash game has a theme. Brawl's theme heavily corresponded to clouds and freedom and floatiness, and it heavily focused on the audience of the Wii being a more casual market. The theme of the 3DS and the Wii U was the home and the stadium, with the 3DS taking personal data and implementing it into stages, and the Wii U having 8-player Smash and... Cat, pull that shit off the screen, get it out of my face! So clearly the themes revolve around the consoles they are on. Sakurai's been known to do this since Kirby's Dream Land, so what can we expect from a Smash game on the Nintendo Switch? If I was Sakurai, I would be thinking about how the Switch could be used to play Smash Brothers. And I think you know where this is going. This may be, for the first time, the only Smash Bros. Designed with 1v1s in mind. But really, this means you can play Smash Bros. Anywhere with a friend, which I personally think is really cool. Except for these controllers. Peter, try and hold this thing. How are you gonna play Smash on the... Hey, don't eat it! I'm gonna go on a limb here and say, since the gameplay may be designed with Joy-Cons in mind, it may be slower and less technical as to produce less errors for any player playing the game. Yeah, I don't like that conclusion either, but you gotta admit, if you're trying to dash dance on this thing, you'd break the goddamn analog stick. It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Hey, hey, eyes up here! What do you think you're doing? Why are you down in the comment section already? You haven't even heard me explain myself. Like, do you think you could maybe offer me that much? Could you give me that much? Just let me explain my roster, let me explain my thought process, and then you can decide if it's good or bad. And if it's bad, who cares? What's my opinion to you? What does it matter? We're all in the dark here. We don't know what this game's gonna be like. It's just for fun. This is all for fun. So don't get so serious about it and don't belittle others because of their choices. Especially those stupid people who want Bandana Waddle Dee. Like, what's this character? Who would want that? Next Smash will probably retain all the fighters that were in 3DS and Wii U. The only cuts I can reasonably see but can't really predict are ones for reasons that are out of our control. For example, 1, third-party companies don't want their character in this game anymore. It was a one-and-done deal like Snake. There's no way we can know if they'll do any of that. I personally doubt it, but you never know. The other option is B, the Pokemon company's like, look, Greninja, you had your time to shine, but now it's time for a Mudgoose. Maybe they don't want to overshadow a new character and the company requests that Sakurai gets rid of them. I don't think it's ever a choice that Sakurai wants to get rid of these characters because he hates them. I don't think Sakurai would even want to get rid of any of these characters. He worked pretty hard to make them have unique designs, and it would be a shame if he just threw them all away. Alright, let's get into the numbers. Smash Wii U and 3DS had 58 combatants, 35 veterans, 15 newcomers, or 17 if you like to organize your trash. Then we had 7 DLC fighters, one of which was my son. Ooh, when you left, I lost a part of me. Okay, I'm done. I'm not singing anymore. I think the number of newcomers we can expect before DLC would be between 10 and 15. It's on the lower end of my prediction for a good reason, and we'll get into that. You're probably wondering, like, there's more than 10 or 15 here. Look, what are you talking about, you idiot? But just hear me out on this one. I have a unique idea for this game and how they're gonna do some stuff, but let's get into the first character that was revealed in the teaser. I am not surprised that this is the first character they showed off. Sakurai loves unique ideas that can only be visualized through certain characters, and the whole spraying and then swimming through your own ink is something that I would love to see come to life in Smash. I could have said this since Splatoon 1. I feel like a lot of people don't predict this for some reason. The ARMS characters have such a unique design that would be very different in Smash. A melee fighter with extendy limbs. Probably has many frames of lag on attacks, but it would have insane range. And just from this design alone, I think Sakurai would explore the idea as its own character. Listen, I don't want to show them a thing or two or three. I would really rather not have Rex, and I know many people share the sentiment. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out for the Switch, and it probably shared a development period with this next Smash Bros. Imaginably, Sakurai probably saw early concept of Pyra and Rex fighting together, and probably based the moveset around their unique relationship. I'm still playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and they're probably better babies for them to play with, but yeah, it's probably gonna be Pyra. At least it's Pyra. So hear me out. A Fire Emblem will be coming to Switch, it will be announced soon, and the main character will come to Smash Bros. It will be a booby girl, a swordsman, or a booby swords girl. These are my thoughts. I'm a mature adult online. They released this game 4 goddamn times. I think I'm safe in assuming that maybe they're gonna represent this game. Decidueye has a unique design that speaks from its character art. The only reason I wouldn't see this character being in is if they decide to really push a new Pokemon character into the next Smash. Which leads me to my next character! Yeah, I do believe that they will represent the next Pokemon game that is likely coming out the end of this year with the new Pokemon of that game. Similar to choices like Greninja or Corrin. What it may be, I don't know. It could be Mudgoose, Escar Chariot, Giam Banshee? Hey, old fire nipples! Listen, we're gonna have this talk. I don't know which of these three it could be. Toad is an iconic character that's been playable and non-playable within the Mario universe forever. Waluigi is heavily requested, though is seen as a joke character. And Paper Mario, my golden goose, could have a very unique design. But your guess is as good as mine here. So I'm just gonna put Paper Mario because I really want him. See, this is the problem with this new game. After Cloud, literally the sky is the limit on what a third-party character could be. I think this time around, we're gonna see a lot of them appear as DLC, such as Crash Bandicoot, the Dragon Board from Skyrim, or the Doom Guy from Doom, where many of these choices are gonna be based off a ballot. But what about the third-party characters they're gonna include in the main game?
Hey, who turned out the lights?
Yep, yeah, it unfortunately makes too much sense. Not to mention this new game, not to mention they've supported Nintendo since the Dark Ages. I'm hoping I'm wrong on this one, guys, but maybe it could come out okay. They kinda looked cool in Mario and Rabbids. But that's not the only third party I think we'll see in the next Smash. I think another group of characters altogether will have a chance to be in this next Smash as well. Now, I don't want to say it's just Sans, but I do believe Sakurai is going to give indie titles a chance to be represented in Smash Bros. So which indie game do you think represents indie games as a whole? That's right, motherfucking Sans! Just kidding, Minecraft Steve. Minecraft Steve. I am not a madman. In fact, I do believe Sakurai will see the potential in this character. Through a couple of translations, even some recent ones, he's played Minecraft. I think he's so bold about it because he doesn't think anybody would think he'd put Minecraft in. And what a better announcement at E3 than the title, Minecraft in Smash. Think of it like this, in all of Smash Bros. We have all these legacy characters, but no character represents a more current age of gaming like Minecraft Steve. I do believe the classic games are going to be represented in some way, shape, or form. One idea I have is an NES Remix Character, which utilizes many different games from the NES era in a sort of Game & Watch moveset. You know, all these games that may not have characters that could be one character, but many characters that can make up one slot. Let me start with my most anticipated newcomer, the characters I've been waiting for all this time! Just updated veterans. That's right, Mario's gonna be a newcomer. His moveset most likely was imagined around the time Odyssey was being developed. I imagine he'll have a free range of movement similar to that of the Odyssey games with many jumps, tactile control, and a very Mario feel. Not to mention having Cappy as many of his special moves. And I do believe he'll have some sort of command grab where he throws Cappy on his opponents. Like Mario, I imagine Link is going to be reimagined to fit the new form of Zelda that Breath of the Wild has taken. He'll likely have abilities that resemble the Sheikah Slate and many of the things he does in Breath of the Wild. Maybe even having the champions as his special moves. Now here's my cool theory. They'll have Mario and Link like this, but then they'll also have Classic Mario and Classic Link. They'll look like their Melee forms and they'll move around like they did in Melee. My list of newcomers is small because I really do believe Sakurai is going to go back to many of the veterans that were in Melee and 64 and reimagine how they appear so they better fit with how they appear in their games. This has been a problem I've expressed in many episodes of Know Your Moves. Many of the veterans have moves that are just amalgamations of different stuff they do in their games, and the result is they don't really feel like the characters from their games, they just feel like references. Many of the veterans don't need this, mind you. Some of them actually experienced changes in Wii U that benefited them, but I really do think many of them could use more. Oh, nice climbers, yeah. Put them back. There's no reason why they shouldn't be in. Oh, and by the way, like, if they want to add Wolf back, oh, let me take a week. As for Dr. Mario, Lucina, and Dark Pit, maybe they're gonna give them more to their movesets, or maybe they're gonna reduce them back to costumes. I literally have no idea what he's gonna decide, and which characters he's gonna decide to make clones with. That's it for traditional characters, but I actually have more ideas as to what else could be in this game that could actually give us more characters to play as. With all these characters and worlds, I have a strong hunch we're gonna get a style of adventure mode. Maybe not like Melee, and maybe not to the length of Subspace Emissary, but I'm thinking something like Revenge of Meta Knight. And it'd be something you could replay many times with all the characters in the cast with varying routes and different unlockables. One of the coolest things about this mode is it would feature bosses, which leads to one of my biggest theories that will probably be proven wrong. Okay, so hear me out. Sakurai likes to make his players happy. He doesn't not include characters like Ridley because he doesn't want to, but he doesn't feel it would do the character justice if they were fighting alongside small characters like Kirby. So what is the Sakurai thing to do if all these people want this character? Remember I was talking about the two Joy-Cons? Well, imagine a mode where one player versus another player, except one of those players is a boss. This would allow longtime favorites like Ridley to finally be playable in Smash. And not just him, because there's many other big characters that just couldn't be in Smash. Metalface, Dr. Eggman, even the Wonderful 101 where there's just so many characters coming at you and they fight in hordes. It could very well be an idea that they implement. So that is it for my predictions, and I know, it's kind of outlandish and it's kind of out there, but I think that's the best part about all of this. This next Smash game could really surprise us. One of the things I don't like about speculation like this is they like to put Sakurai in a box about how he designs his games and what characters he chooses, like it's very scientific and it's very logistical, when really, I think he just wants to make people happy and he wants to have fun and he wants to design characters that are unique. I don't think he thinks about it in the way that we do, and that's why he often surprises us. So, I think that the thumbnail is really something we could expect. Maybe Sans won't be in the game, but you never know what could happen with a new poll and DLC, and the scene that's in that thumbnail could actually happen. And that's why Smash Bros. Is such a fun series. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.